Mali, and to ICE agents across the country. To Pennsylvania and that government report on the failures in Butler last year. Alexis McAdams flagging that for US and she has more details from nearby Russellton. Greater than we're here at this event, it's a fundraiser, that's why you can hear the music behind US because we're expecting today to be a little bit of the community coming together. We didn't expect such a big news dump to come out early this morning. This is from a Senate report saying that the Secret Service not only made big mistakes that day, but according to a report from Senator Chuck Grassley, he said the Secret Service knew there was a threat to President Trump's life for 10 days and didn't take action. The picture from the rally, that's what we know, a year ago on the screen and those answers just coming out now. Grassley, from the Senate Judiciary Chairman, a report outlining the security breakdowns from last year. He says center-level Secret Service officials received classified intelligence regarding a threat to President Trump's life 10 days prior to the rally. They wouldn't release it to those working the rally. The WHO was supposed to secure the rally site was brand new. It was her first event and she was supposed to get the lay of the land and figure out what rooftops should be covered. President Trump reflecting on the rally, that could have been his last. Greater than in a lot of things happening, I have an obligation to do a good job. I feel I was really saved by somebody very special. Greater than in the man shot by gunmen in the stands with his family. The family honoring his life with what's going on and the motorcycles that are going to be riding through the area. The family pushing for answers. Listen to this. Greater than he was a wonderful human. He was just the best dad, the best. He was the best husband. I mean, he was just a wonderful man. He would help anybody. He'd give you his last dollar. Greater than he was a hero that day. He would have helped that kid. Greater than in Mali, Helen told US just the other day, she want today sit down with the Secret Service. She does have a meeting with the Secret Service director and we'll talk about the threat 10 days before the rally and didn't do anything to address it. We'll keep you posted, Mali. Mali, your interview with Helen has been amazing and you can hear that desire for answers coming from her and that heart might be the reason we all finally get these answers that we've all been waiting for and now we're just beginning to get a little bit more insight. Great job Alexis. And our gratitude to Helen as well and our heart continues to go out to her for the loss of her husband TCORY come per tour, as the president survived. And the Secret Service agent WHO testified at the assassination attempt hearing. Thank you and welcome to your program for your thoughts today. There's a new report from the Government Accountability Office and a few things, I just want your early thoughts on what we're beginning to learn. One of the things is that there was a senior-level Secret Service agent WHO received some intelligence of a threat 10 days before the Butler rally, but failed to relay that to the local and federal law enforcement. That's just one of the highlights. Your thoughts? Greater than if that's true, that's very disturbing. Sometimes the intelligence comes in a very highly sensitive PSI environment where you have to be very careful how you distribute the information. No matter what, if there's a threat against the president, the agents on the ground and local police officers providing intelligence need to know about the threat to take countermeasures. Mali, another one. The agent in charge and control of the site of the job, in controlling the outdoor space. Your thoughts on that, and one. Would think that there would have been multiple people involved in ensuring that the space was safe. Your thoughts? Greater than well, there are multiple people involved, but as a new agent, you need to have an opportunity to be exposed to such big venues like the Trump rally. I'm sure there were other agents assigned to assist her, but I do want to say that the failures there are just not defensible. As a retire agent and current agents we feel that we really dropped the ball that day and I'm very happy to see that action is taken to make sure that this never happens again. Mali, there were 6 Secret Service agents suspended without pay, without benefits, 42 days pending. And no one was fired though. There was a quote from Matt Quinn, the agency director. WHO said there was an operational failure and that essentially, they weren't going to be able to fire their way out of this. Your thoughts on the repercussions for individuals? Greater than well, Mali, the Secret Service has a long history of requiring agents WHO give 100% of their ability and it was clear to me that mistakes were made in Butler. There were mistakes made and those agents that made the mistakes should be held accountable. On the other hand though, it's personally devastating to these agents. I'm sure none of them expected the president to get hurt that day, but failed to do their duty to the best of their ability and gaps were left. I think that discipline is appropriate, maybe firing is too hard, I don't know. To Mr. Kumpertor's family, this is tragedy and people lost their lives because the Secret Service dropped the ball and this can never happen again. And under the deputy and Matt Quinn I'm 100% confident the failures will not be. Molly. And Helen has been incredible and all the people put in danger during that rally and including the president. She says after she did the interview with Alexis McAdams that the president called her and that she had been reached by the Secret Service director and there could potentially be some conversations coming. Is her heart perhaps part of the reason we'll all get answers? Greater than she deserves answered. Her husband was killed, murdered by Mr. Crooks, as well as the 2 other victims shot that day and their families. She deserve answers. It's appropriate for the director at the appropriate time to speak to her. I'm happy the president's already done so. Molly. Patrick, this is the president reflecting on this horrifying moment from 1 year ago. Take a listen to President Trump. Greater than they should have had something on the building. That was a mistake. They should have had communications with the local police. They weren't tied in and they should have been tied in. So there were mistakes made. And that, shouldn't have happened and that building was a prime building in terms of what they were trying to do. So, but I was satisfied in terms of the bigger plot, the larger plot, and I was satisfied. And I have great confidence in these people. I know the people and they're very talented, very capable. They had a bad day and I think they'll admit that, a rough day. Molly. That full interview airs tonight on My View, that's at 9 p.m. Eastern. Your final word, Patrick. Your reaction to the president's comments there. Greater than well, the president's correct. The Secret Service had a bad day, but we cannot have bad days. We're not allowed to have bad days and I'm fully confident down to the current leadership with Director Curran and Deputy Director Quinn that such occurrence will not happen again. However, you've got to remember that we're all human beings. As hard as this job is, Secret Service is probably the hardest job in the law enforcement. And local police say that to us all the time what a tough job that the Secret Service has. Molly. Patrick Sullivan.